Stardew Valley came out in 2016. I have never played this game before, so I am pretty much a complete noob. I've been sleeping on Stardew for the past 9 years. Well, I was 12 when this game came out, and I didn't even know what it was, but that's besides the point. I don't have any challenges set for myself for this run, because I'm a little unsure what I'm getting myself thrown into, but I won't be using the wiki to tell me what to do or ways to make money fast, etc. I'll be playing this quite blindly and only using the wiki for items I've unlocked or for character schedules, etc. Spoiler alert, I do know a little bit about Stardew from seeing clips here and there, so I know just a little bit. So this is the story of how a noob spent 100 days, and yes, you can roast me in the comments because of how bad I'm at this game. Let's jump straight into it. On day 1, I risen from my bed and had a care package waiting at my front door with 15 parsnips inside. I headed outside and my farm looked like a complete disaster. So the first thing that came to mind was clearing some of this up. I made sure I had enough room to plant my crops and made a 5x3 grid. Yeah, this should suffice for probably about 2 days. I got enough wood to get myself a chest because my inventory looks like a girl's pockets with the little amount of room I have in there. I proceeded to go talk to people in town to get my first quest done. I was a little unsure where everyone lived, so I went house to house checking for people. I also foraged while going around everywhere and kept one of each of these plants. I'm a little unsure what you want to call them, but they're for the community center. I then went to sleep unlocking Foraging 1 and making only 250 or so gold. I was a little unsure how to be productive on making gold, so I would learn along the way. I sprung out of bed and watered my thirsty parsnips. Then it was time to talk to some more people around town. I also had gotten a quest to go to the beach before 5 p.m. I met Willie here and he gave me his old trusty fishing rod. I also stopped at Jojo Mart to get myself some more parsnip seeds. I got a total of 20, and it's really expensive, so I would just not buy from here anymore and go to Pierre's because he treats me better and doesn't rip my ass off. I then fished for a good portion of the night when all the squeaklings went to sleep. I planted my seeds before going to bed and watered them as well. On day 3, I woke up to a rainy day, which means I don't have to water my crops today, which was a big relief because it takes a lot of energy for no reason this early on. I also figured out that the TV can tell you how lucky you are and the weather for the next day. Rain would be very beneficial for me whilst fishing because it could give me different types of fish that can only spawn during those rainy periods. That I would not learn for a little while as well. By midday, I was only missing 3 people to talk to. This would be Haley, Leia, and Pierre. I would talk to these people eventually. I was not too sure as well what to do at this point, so I just went around the map to familiarize myself with everything and went to bed relatively early at 8 p.m. for some reason. I woke up from my bed and I watered my crops like any normal person would do on this day, one by one. I went fishing because this was the only way to make some easy money, for now at least. I also finally talked to Pierre and Leia, completing my first quest. Honestly, I did not receive anything, not even a cookie. Come on guys, I'm a new person in town, wouldn't you want to greet me instead? And the rest of the day was just fishing. Today I made a solid 737 gold and gained fishing level 2. I was able to make bait, but I couldn't make any until the mines were unlocked. I was also only receiving like normal starred fish or like silver star. I don't know exactly what you want to call them. I don't know if it just goes like silver, gold, and then purple. But yeah, I was only getting the bare minimum over here, so I think I needed my fishing proficiency to be up a little bit to get these higher. I hopped out of bed because I felt like today was going to be a good day, and to my surprise, Marnie was at my door for God knows how long with a stray cat. I accepted it and named him Curds for some reason. I also did not know you can fill up his water bowl, so I'm a bad parent already. Someone also gave me an envelope in the mail telling me to come buy some hats and bring coins. My parsnips were finally ready, and then I realized that when it says you've got new ideas to sleep on, that you level up in that proficiency. I then went fishing for the rest of the day and got a good variety of fish to sell. I sold everything and slept for the night. Sad that my cat was sleeping on the ground and not with me. I unlocked basic fertilizer, which I will never use, but I unlocked a scarecrow. This is quite helpful for now, I think. I made a total of $1,300 today, and I was really happy with that. With my freshly acquired gold, I went and got the backpack for 2,000 gold. I got 10 cauliflower seeds and 8 potato seeds for some reason, making me poor again. I ran back home with the goods I acquired, planted, and then got a cutscene heading back into town about the community center. I honestly really like this because you always have something to work for. I read a book here in gibberish and I left. I headed to the mines and to my surprise it was unlocked already. I got to level 15 before heading home for well-deserved sleep. and I did get a variety of items, which is shown on screen right now. The mines were also directly linked with my luck of how much copper and ores I would get, etc., how fast I could get those staircases, and I didn't really realize that, so I went on plenty of horrible days, and honestly probably just ruined that entire day because, well, I could have been doing something more productive, like cleaning up the farm, or anything else. Yet another rainy day in Pelican Town, and I went ahead and seen the wizard for the first time. I had a little cutscene with him here, and he just gave me the ability to read the gibberish on the book in the community center. So now, it was in full swing. I could donate a variety of items, and I would get rewards upon completion. Some bigger rewards for bigger bundles, and some smaller rewards when I only finished a singular one. I was not sure what the best thing to work towards was in the first place, so I would periodically go there and donate a variety of items that I had. The next day was just goofing around my farm, clearing up some space, going to the mines and dying for the first time. I'm unsure if you die or just like pass out. This old guy, Linus, I don't know how to say his name, was here to help me, and I was really appreciative. His backstory is quite sad, so I would try and treat him good. I also lost a few items due to this, so I would be very careful and try my best not to die again in general. But that did end the day quite fast because I had no way to regenerate my stamina. Really enjoying the game at this point, so this will be a little bit more detailed going forward because I actually kind of knew how to play the game now, or at least the basics. If you like this type of content, challenges like 100 days or 100% playthroughs, well, consider giving me a sub. There will be plenty more of content surrounding this, and I'm trying to reach 2,000 subs by the end of this year, and well, we are really close. Also, join my Discord for video updates and giveaways there. Link will be in the description. Now back to the video. I had a little bad habit of mine of waking up and not checking tomorrow's weather or the fortune teller, so half the days I wouldn't even know if it was worth doing some things around the farm, but I also didn't know how much it would affect the game in general. I watered my crops, went to the community center and donated a daffodil, a leek, dandelion, and a wild horseradish, completing one of many bundles and also my first. This would give me some spring seeds that I would later plant because I just went straight into the mines. I wanted to go down further and I would reach level 22 before I would have to head back home. I also hate level 19 because it's a huge spiral and this is a little bit uncommon, but it would happen a few more times. I think it's on a predetermined level and that's why it happened. I also smelted my first copper bars and went to bed and unlocked combat level 2. I finally checked the fortune teller, and it was a lucky day. I gifted George a daffodil and finished a quest, gaining me 90 gold in the process. I just fished for the rest of the day, and honestly, looking back at it, I should probably be in the mines right about now. But oh well, what can I do now? I also got a sea jelly that day. I was unsure what I would need it for, and would just sell these for quite some time instead of just keeping them, just like I did for most items. Before going to bed, I watered my crops, and it's quite hard to see at nighttime without a glow ring or torches around me. I accepted a quest for Robin to get 20 rocks on this day. I went to Clint to open up some geodes, and whatever I got in there I donated to Gunther. It was straight back to the mines. I also found out that some levels are overran by monsters, and I would have to slay all of them to get the ladder to go downwards. I only got to level 25 because I needed to go to Robin's ASAP to give her some rocks. I mean, she pretty much literally builds anything, my house and other buildings. Can't she just get it herself or use mine? I made more chests due to the limited space I had, and I just went straight to bed after a long day of tomfoolery. Day 11 was split in half. I fished for a little bit, cleared up some of my farm of debris, and honestly, it's starting to look a little bit more of like a farm now. I didn't do much else today because I went AFK for unknown reasons I just forget about now. But the next day I expanded my farm a little bit, planting the spring seeds I obtained earlier. I camped at Clint's house until he opened up at 9 AM sharp to crack open some geodes. Clint was also the person I could take my tools to upgrade them to better quality, giving me better chopping efficiency or mining. This is also applicable to the hoe and watering can. I then went straight into the mines and got myself a few items, but I completed a quest for the guild apparently. I got myself an insect head. This would be my main weapon for a little while. I also finally got past level 30 in the mines, and it gets quite dark here. Only copper spawns here as for now. Levels 30 through 40 I didn't really like, and I finally got to the ice cave area. Now I could finally start getting some iron ore. It was already late and I had no energy left over whatsoever, so I donated one red mushroom I found in the caves to the community center and went straight to bed. I unlocked level 2 farming. This would unlock the ungodly bad sprinklers, mail machines, and some stone fences. I also fished at the river, then at the beach, In between that, I would open up some geodes I had left over and donated a handful of items to the museum. Gunther was really taking items from the poor at this point. I had mostly caught sardines and a few miscellaneous fish, and it was time to hit the sheets once again after clearing up a few trees around the farm. Also, my ore chest was looking quite bad at the moment, so I could not even make sprinklers yet to make my life more efficient. Next morning, I headed to Clint's to upgrade my pickaxe. At some point, I also upgraded my axe. I think I forgot to record this like a dingleberry I am. I also used my hoe on one of these weird dig spots at the beach and got a Nautilus shell. Since I do not have my pickaxe, it was just another day of fishing. Also, I didn't know you could buy a smoker and cook the fish to make a bunch more money until the very end, or pretty much like day 75 I'd say. Since my energy was low as well, I wanted my pickaxe faster, I just went to bed. The next morning, it was raining, so I went and caught some fish in the river near Marnie's ranch, and this is the only place I know I can get catfish. A fish I would need for big profits, and I needed one for the community center as well. By end of day, I had caught 7 total, and I was proud of myself because these are not the easiest to catch with low efficiency fishing rod. Rise and shine on day 17, I got enough materials to complete the construction bundle, unlocking this furnace on the right side. I also stayed AFK here for half the day because my cat was being a little butthead. I gave Abigail a gift and she hated it, and she looked just as confused as me after I gave it to her. Also, why is my farm named Mundo Farm when I clearly named it something else? Besides the point, I also had gotten a dino egg at some point and it just sat in my inventory because I didn't want to sell it, and eventually I would just donate it to the museum because what am I supposed to do with this at this point? I chopped down some trees until I got foraging level 3, unlocking Jack Frickle. And would you look at that, my cat fell asleep on my bed for the first time. I picked up my pickaxe from Clint, accepted my quest for Willy to catch 4 herrings for 120 gold. I wanted all the gold at this point, and into the mines I went to get myself some iron for a potential upgrade later. I'd say I got a good variety of items today though, and coal was the hardest material I found to get. I also donated bat wings and solar essence to complete the adventurers bundle. I was only missing an iron bar for the blacksmith bundle and everything for the geologist bundle. I really wanted to work towards this because it unlocks the boiler room and I would get a minecart to fast travel into town, from the bus stop to the town to the mines from the town, etc. Most of the spring seeds I had planted were ready, so I grabbed those and sold them because I don't really need them unless I gift them to people, and some people just don't like these types of flowers. I smelted most of the ores I had gotten, donated the iron bar I was missing, and got myself a free furnace and put an earth crystal into the geo bundle. I went over to Willy's little shack and got myself the iridium fishing rod and some bait. I caught enough fish for Willy, returned the quest to him. He was at the saloon shop staring at a wall because his insanity probably kicked in for him. Donated a sardine and a mussel that I found near the beach. I planted the leftover seeds I had and went to bed. Unlocked the bee house and got fishing level 7. It never crossed my mind to build a beehive though for a while. I had picked up a quest the day prior to slay 8 ice slimes, so I headed to do that. Turned in that quest and tried to figure out the most efficient pattern for these sprinklers and gave up and went to bed quite angry. Throughout the night, I think somebody dropped some presents, so now I was eligible to get presents from a variety of things. I'm not sure exactly what that included, but it's pretty nice. Day 21 was all over the place. I went around town smashing some geodes, looking for those damn presents that I could never find because you just can't get them the way I thought you could, donating Gunther some stuff, and seeing a cutscene near the sewers. The 2 kids were claiming that there's a monster in there, and I wasn't buying it just yet. And I fished in a river for the rest of the day. I got 11 catfish and some eggs of some sort while fishing. I sold most of the items and got close to 5,000 gold in one day, my biggest achievement I hadn't gotten so far. Day 22 was back in the mines until 6 PM I was there actually. Nothing really important happened that day, other than getting 1 frozen tear and a refined quartz. I was also a big dummy and kept selling regular quartz because, well, I didn't know you could smelt them to get refined quartz. I also gave Pam a daffodil for a quest and granting me a solid 90 gold. She was pleased by this. Do whatever you'd like with this information though. I also tried figuring out these sprinklers again, and I made it better this time, but it's still not the best. I stopped by Clint's place as soon as I woke up to smash open some geodes, well, more like whenever he woke up, and upgraded my axe to steel. Thinking back on it, I should have probably done my pickaxe, but I was also chopping down a lot of trees around my farm. Well, what can you do about that? I also went around and donated some stuff to the community center, while some fish I had gotten, and did a checkup on what I needed next. I was really bad at remembering what I needed. I would also want to repair the bus, but money-wise, I was quite broke. I then went fishing in the river for the rest of the day, catching a solid 3 golden catfish and some other fishies. It was a sunny day on day 24, so watering my crops I did, and these sprinklers did half the job for me. I then went back into the mines. I brought 2 chests and a smelter, something I really would not use and wasted my materials because they would just hit here for God knows how long. I also reached level 70 in the mines, and it looks a little different. Now with skeleton spawn. Getting through all these 10 levels was quite a breeze, and I was already at level 80. I could finally start acquiring some gold, but these monsters are quite dangerous and I hardly did damage to them and they did a bunch of damage to me. I just went back home after a few levels there and on to the next day. The bookseller was in town today, but yet again I didn't know the person had anything important really. My axe was ready, so I unlocked a secret place. Every day hardwood would spawn here, and I could get a total of 12 or so. I also found Robin's axe hidden in the woods. Well, not so hidden anymore. Also, this does not look like your typical axe, really. I also found a secret door that I was forbidden to go in for the time being. The rest of the day was smelting ore and clearing out some area for the farm. I didn't really like my farm being this messy, but I had to deal with it for now, and also every season there was some like wild grass and just some tree stumps that would grow over time, and it didn't bother me that much, but at this time it really did, but I did grow out of this. On to the next day. I gave Robin her axe, and a whole of a bunch of nonsense happened today. Honestly, I wasn't sure what I was aiming for and literally ran everywhere across the map, fishing here and there, talking to NPCs, and ended the day off not so good. Well, it was probably because the day prior I actually handed my pickaxe to Clint, so I didn't exactly know what to do, and I also didn't want to fish, so there was nothing else for me to really do. Next day, I gathered all my crops that grew, and it was just another mine strip to try and get some more gold because I was really keen on getting my pickaxe and axe to gold as soon as possible. I was getting heavy damage done to me and my energy was low, so only one thing to do. Run away like a little coward and go back home to sleep and get nightmares about these little dark goblin things. Before you say anything, I didn't really have anything to eat to make my energy go up a lot, and if I did, it would cost me a lot of gold, and at this point, I didn't necessarily have too much. Later on, I would figure out some ways to actually get energy really well. I cracked open some geodes, finished a bundle that gave me 3 fishing pots. I don't really use these, I'd rather just use my bait for some good stuff instead of getting broken CDs. I fished for most of the day as it was raining, and got another 6 catfish. Big profits today, and I also destroyed the remnants of the old farm to get ready for my first day of summer. The first day of summer. This means I can finally grow different types of crops and start on these summer bundles. I planted the few melon seeds I had and watered them. Then I went to Pierre's shop and got an assortment of seeds. This would complete the summer bundle, and well, I planted all of them like a normal human being would do. I also spent the rest of the day foraging. I don't think anything spawns on day 1 really, and I only got 1 grape, and summer only needed the spice berry and sweet pea, so it didn't really bother me. I also gave Emily a gift. She had strong negative energy from this gift. Day 30 was spent in the mines gathering a bunch of different items. I was a little all over the place, but ended up to level 85, and I went ahead and donated the last items I needed for the minecart, the fire crystal. Now I can fast travel from the bus stop to the mines and in town. This would be very helpful, but I sometimes forget I even unlocked this and I would just walk. My mining and combat level both reached level 5, and I picked +1 ore per vein and scout that increased critical chance by 50%. Yet again, the next day was spent entirely in the mines just because I wanted to get to the bottom level. And on my way there, I found a spice berry. I was in the lower levels of the mine to get a bunch of bug meat for bait. Day 32, I made some more furnaces and smelted a bit of my ores, and with the bunch of geodes I had, I cracked them open, giving me some artifacts, and I donated them to Gunther. I also cleared up some of my farm, and the rest of the day was looking for that damn sweet pea I was missing. I did end up finding 3 of them though. The next day, I was doodling around, aka being AFK for a little while. I donated some pine tar and all of the 3 summer forageables, granting me 30 summer seeds. My pickaxe was also finally strong enough to break this debris here, and I met the dwarf. He spoke in a strange language and I didn't know what to do, so I just left him here for a long time actually, all alone again. I came back home and organized some chests because this was getting quite out of hand. I also would smelt ores and clear out some of the farm until my energy was super low. I got myself ready for a tool upgrade as well for the next day. Foraging level 5 was upon me, and I picked Deforester because who doesn't like more wood? You guys remember that guy I was talking about that just dropped some random gifts? Well, that just means I can start getting gifts while doing a variety of tasks like mining or just killing enemies. So I went to Cleanse to open up a couple of these, and I got a combination of a glow ring and a magnet, so a tool-in-one deal here. I totally forgot to upgrade my pickaxe the first time I was here, so I just came back later. I would also start giving Abigail's a lot of gifts because she is pretty chill, but this was not my marriage candidate just yet. And then I fished because I couldn't really do anything else without my pickaxe, so why not get money in the meantime because, well, I'm broke as you can see. Also, Willie and Elliot were here, Willie stroking something and Elliot was just in aura stance for a while. Summer also gave me access to some new fishies, so I would donate them whenever I got them to the community center. I also later learned that you can hover over an object to see if you need it for the center, but I actually did not learn this until after I completed this a whole 100 days. So I was running there and back like a wild goose. Today, on day 35, luck was really not on my side, so I got enough wood to repair the little bridge by the beach. I would get more forageables here like coral and some sea urchins that would just wash up from the shore. Something new. The day didn't last too long because my energy was already low from chopping down a lot of trees. I mean, I could have ate something, but I was really against that for the longest time. Day 36, I waited at Clint's shop until he opened up at 9 a.m. because my golden pickaxe was ready, and I went straight into the mines yet again. My only plan was to get as far down as possible and reach the bottom of the mines, which was unclear what level this was during the time of recording, but I did reach level 93 and had to run away like a headless chicken because, well, I sustained a lot of damage due to my carelessness. I also didn't get very many items due to my inability to kill monsters fast, but it was overall a good run for gold since I got 51 ore, making 10 gold bars-ish. But I did get a new sword on level 90 and it was better than my insect head for now, but not by a lot. I also donated a frozen geode to the field research bundle on my way back to the farm. The next day was just some miscellaneous tasks around everywhere, smelting some bars, clearing out some of the farm, turning in my tickets at Mayor Lewis's house, which is actually kind of a cool thing because you get like random items and you can only see like the couple that are coming, but for now they were pretty bad items. Cracking open some geodes and nothing else really. After 7 p.m. I just went to bed after a short day. Day 38 was Mines Day. I reached level 97 before taking a lot of damage, my worst enemy being the red slime and the goblin looking thing with a mask because they lower my defense by a lot, and if I get hit by anything else, well, my HP bar is just gone. So I would just go back into the level 40s to make my life easier and get other ores that way. I was honestly pretty happy with 91 gold ore and whatever else you see on screen here. I also got combat level 6, unlocking the slime, egg press, and oil of garlic. Day 39 was yet another day in the mines. I've probably said this like 10 times already, but it is what it is. I was determined to get to the bottom of this. I started from level 95 and I got to level 105. As soon as I cleared out level 105, I took a warp totem I found just randomly somewhere. These are quite neat but super expensive to craft from what I know of and the materials I have at my disposal. I did get a variety of items, most of them got sold like the dummy I am, not knowing I will need some of these later down the line. Could you have guessed it, on day 40 I went straight back into the mines. I only made it to level 113 before dying to a red slime, probably one of my worst enemies so far. And to my surprise, Linus was there yet again to help me. It did cut the day a little short, but not too much time loss on this day. I also leveled up mining to level 7 and unlock transmutate for gold, so now I can make a gold bar with 2 iron ingots. With a rainy day in my hands, I went fishing for the entire day. I was tired of going into the mines over and over again, and probably so are you, whoever's watching this, so why not a better way to relax and just fish? By end of the day, I went and donated the fish I caught to the center. I went back home and sold all the fish and finally learned how to make refined quartz in the furnace. All that fishing only granted me close to 4k gold, so I'm still poor in today's economy. Day 42, I received a quest from Pam to get her some pale ale. I didn't use the wiki, and for the longest time, I didn't know what the hell this was. She would never actually get it on this 100 days, but the next 100 days, don't worry, I gave it to her, but she did wait quite a time. The day was spent in the mines again. I spent 10 levels to get some iron and coal from dust mines, and then went from level 110 to finally finishing the mines, reaching level 120, and getting the last chest, also unlocking a Steam achievement. I got a skeleton key. I would learn what this does later. I also totally forgot to mention, but on floor 100 I got a star drop, increasing my max energy. These are all the materials I got from the mines today, and I got combat level 7, unlocking a few more craftable rings. Some of my crops were ready, such as corn and hot peppers. I would need corn for a bundle, but I kind of sold all my corn, and that bundle didn't get completed until like day 170 or something like that. It's pretty wild. I picked up a quest to go and talk to everyone in town yet again, but I would not complete this due to a time fail because Sebastian was in his room and did not want to get out, and I spent the whole day trying to talk to everyone, so yeah, this kind of sucked for me and just a whole day wasted. Some crops, like the corn and peppers I was just talking about, also have multiple harvests throughout the season, so you can plant them and you can harvest them, but it does take about like 4 to 5 days, depending on the crops, to harvest them again, which is kind of neat, but also sometimes I'd rather have different things, so I would just like mine this up, but really, really efficient, and honestly, probably one of the things that I like the most about farming is this. The next day was in the mines, taking out my frustration on dust mites and getting more iron ore. I was also smelting once before going to bed and once in the morning to keep those furnaces going with the limited ores I had for now. I also unlocked farming level 5 and I had to choose a profession. This was a huge mistake on my end and I didn't even know it yet, but I picked rancher. I should have picked tiller because I learned that you need tiller to get the artisan profession. Now I would have to spend another 10,000 gold to change this profession whenever I met Krobus. On day 45, I picked up some seeds at Joja Mart because Pierre is closed on Wednesdays for some odd reason. I've never heard of a store closing on Wednesdays. I then made my farm a little better in preparation for quality sprinklers. I only had one for now and put some regular sprinklers so I didn't have to water them as much and waste some of my precious energy in the morning. On day 46, this was mostly fishing and doing some small tasks, like going to the community center with some fish, giving Abigail a gift, and going straight back to fishing until 10 p.m. at night. I still was catching crappy fish though, but I did get level 9 in fishing. Fishing would be my first level 10 skill as well. I really liked fishing early on, but after a while it got super repetitive and I would not do it as often. Day 47 was fishing yet again, but this time I had a purpose to do it. I had to get a red snapper for Leia. I also had to get a tuna for Willy. I got the tuna at the last minute before he closes his shop, and thank God he came out because it was my last day to complete this quest. This granted me a prize stick and a solid 200 gold. What a cheapskate. I also had a moment of pause because I thought I had gotten red snappers, but I only got red mullets, so Leia just wouldn't be getting her fish today. At 9:30 a.m. sharp, I asked Robin for a house upgrade. She said she would install a kitchen in here so I could cook some food, but do you see how broke I am? I can't even afford half the stuff to even make myself a damn salad. I mean, I could farm, but there's not really a point where I can just buy a couple salads at the saloon and get my energy up instantly, just costing like 4,000 gold in total. I never actually tried cooking either because I was focused on getting other things done around the farm, and I wasn't really going for any achievements, so I felt like it was pointless for me. I went fishing for the rest of the day for some pocket change. I also got a couple of golden tags. This would sit in my chest collecting dust because, well, I don't know what to do with this. I only got about $3,000 today, and I only realize now that making big money does take time. I would need farm animals, a whole bunch of kegs, and many more things. But I was happy with my progression and didn't think much of it because if I really were to make a whole lot of money early, well, what's the point in playing? Day 49 was getting a bunch of bug meat to make myself some bait as it's cheaper and I can get quite a lot in there. This is what I got out of mining today. Also, Robin works quite late and she works quite slowly with one hammer hit per every 5 seconds, so this house should theoretically be done in about 5 years. Day 50 was also spent in the mines again and this is what I got. Day 51 was an event, Green Rain. My farm had overgrown weeds everywhere, and I didn't have an axe because it was upgrading at Clint's, so I could not get the fiddlehead ferns, which pissed me off. I mean, I could get them just by foraging in the forest area, I think that's what you want to call it, but I went ahead and talked to everyone in town since they had special dialogue, and that was pretty much the day for you. On day 52, Clint had my axe ready, and I had some geodes for him to bust open. Robin then wanted 35 rocks for a quest, so I would clear up some of my farm with my axe, and holy was this way more efficient. I went and gave Robin her dumbass rocks, like I just gave you over 100 to upgrade my house. How do you even need more? I can't comprehend this. I then decided it was time for bed at 7 p.m. because, yeah, what else am I supposed to do today? The next few days were just spent fishing and doing some random tasks around town. I was only fishing so I could get a lot of pumpkin seeds to shove into kegs at the end of fall. I fished at level 100 in the mines, only getting trash because I was bad at this game, and could not get the lava eel whatsoever. The next day was fishing by the ocean. Day 27 was half spent in the mines and fishing by the river. On day 28, I sold all my fish to get the money by fall 1st and preparing my farm with quality sprinklers for the upcoming pumpkin seeds I would buy and plant. And then I waited for the Jelly Festival that was happening at the beach at 9:30 p.m. And this was really the first cutscene I actually watched, so you guys can watch this cutscene with me. After that, it sent me back home at 12 p.m. and all the items and fish I caught got me around 8,000 gold or so, so enough for the pumpkins I would need. Alright, first day of fall, here I come. I got 80 pumpkin seeds, 20 eggplants, 10 yam seeds, and 10 cranberry seeds. That should be enough for a good harvest throughout the month. I finished my sprinkler layout, hoed the ground, planted them, and watered all the crops since I wanted them to grow as soon as possible. To finish off the day, I went into the mines to get 35 copper ore for a quest. I had to deliver these to Clint, and I was able to keep them as well. He would give me 360 gold for this, also another cheapskate. Day 2 of fall, I got a small cutscene for a billboard. I could accept quests here that take longer to complete but gives me a greater reward. This was actually very refreshing, as I'd have something more to work towards since my community center is slowing down, as I already have many items in there. For my first quest, I picked up the biome balance. I would have to catch 20 fish in the sea, which is pretty easy and really straightforward. I went around and found the fall forageables. This would be the hazelnut and blackberry, completing one of the bundles. I was only missing 2 items now, the snow yam and the crocus, however you say that, which is winter forageables. I would now also start saving up for the bus station fix. This would cost a total of 43,500 gold, and I did already donate 5,000 gold to this. I fished for the rest of the day, as new fish spawn now, donated some to the center. I also never donated that damn walleye, so I'd have to wait a whole new year now to get it. I went to bed, and to my surprise, I got fishing level 10. I picked Angler to get 50% bonus gold from selling fish, an esteem achievement for getting to level 10 in one profession. Day 3 of fall, Marnie wanted me to get her some amaranth, something I just don't know how to get, and she can go without it for a long time now. I then fished up at the lake near the mine for different types of fish to donate to the center. Day 4 was the exact same thing, except fishing in a river instead, and yes, I did donate these to the center, completing the river fish bundle and getting 30 deluxe bait with it. I actually never use deluxe bait either, or like crafting it. I only use it if I have some extras, because the regular bait is just easier to get. It was also a short day, going to bed at 8 p.m. It was time for some upgrades today. I placed down my very first chicken coop, and it would be ready in about 2 days, costing me all my money, but I would have enough soon to get my farm animals, aka 4 chickens, to start producing eggs. I know I said I would start saving money, but you need to spend money to make money sometimes. I also cleaned a good portion of my farm, getting over 400 wood, and my chest situation was just looking crazier every day. I would not fix this for a short while, because it was pretty much just an organized mess for me. I shoved some gold to get some gold bars in the morning, and then I finally decided it was time to farm some sea jelly, river jelly, and cave jelly for some smokers. Smokers double the amount of money I get from the fish at the cost of one coal, which is quite good as some fish sell for some extreme amounts of money. I would get a total of 5. Spanning across multiple days of fishing, I would sell some fish at the same time to get money for the chickens. Day 6 and 7 of fall was fishing in zone 100, getting me 5 cave jellies. Day 8 of fall was fishing at the river, as well as day 9. I would now also keep all gold and purple quality fish to shove into the stove. Day 10 was getting my animals from Marnie. I got 4 chickens and named them Chuckles, Chucks, Giggles, and Coops. Unoriginal names for them, but this is what I had at the time. I would need to feed them every day and pet them so they could grow and make eggs for me, as well as large eggs. I'm also very glad I did get at least one white one for the community center. The rest of the day was spent in the mines gathering bug meat for a lot of bait because I still needed a few sea jellies. And with my luck, it was taking many days already to get all 5 of them. 11, I picked up a quest from the billboard to gather 80 hardwood for Robin. I would not complete this and it would be 3 short because I forgot on one day to go to the forest with the logs to get the hardwood, and could you guessed it, I fished until day 12 to get all my sea jelly. Day 69 and Saturday the 13th, it was a rainy day. My chickens were finally able to lay eggs. I would get 4 a day from these chickens, of course, but they had a chance to lay large eggs once their friendship is high enough. I also did not have any mayo machine, so that is a slight problem, but something for the future me to handle. This was also Abigail's birthday. Now I gave her an amethyst and she loved it. This would boost my friendship with her by a whole lot, and like I said prior, I won't be marrying Abigail, but I think after playing longer, I decided for Haley. So you will see that in the next 100 days I do. With all the fish I was hoarding, I spent the rest of the day smelting bars and cooking fish. I called myself the Fisher Smith today. By 1:20 a.m. I sold all the fish that was cooked. Around 70 fishies were sold and I made about $33,000. I'm keeping that in the video, by the way. Probably one of the biggest money days I've ever had. On day 70, my pumpkins were ready. I harvested all of them and cooked the rest of the fish. I bought 60 more seeds and some speed grow. I would also donate a pumpkin to the center, finishing the fall crop bundle and granting me a bee house. I guess I can make honey now. I didn't find any recipes I would really need with honey, and it doesn't produce honey during the winter, so I just stay away from honey hives for now. I finished the day early because I just wanted my damn kegs to be ready. Day 15 of fall was spent in the mine searching for some earth crystals. I did not get a single one today. What is my luck? Quite bad actually. I would need some earth crystals to make mayo machines to turn eggs into mayo. I donated 25k gold and got a free crystallarium. Now I could duplicate some valuables I had. I would shove a diamond in here and every few days I would get a free diamond basically. This was not profitable really, as one diamond goes for 750 apiece. I would need a whole lot more. Sleeping, I got combat level 8, unlocking the slime incubator, and a little extra HP for myself. The slime incubator I just would never use either because, well, I just didn't know how to use half these items in the game. Day 72, I cleared out a portion of my farm to get ready to mass plant some trees in favor of tapping them to get oak resin and a few other trees for other items, and the rest of the day was spent in the mines. I actually got 2 earth crystals today. I only really wanted 2 more to make a total of 4 mayo machines, and I would spend enough time in the mines later to get more mayo machines whenever I wanted to expand my coop. Waking up to a chilly morning in fall, I waited outside Marnie's ranch to get some more hay because I had no more and my chickens were quite hungry. I also accepted Gus Famous's omelet quest. I would need to donate to him 12 eggs total. I had enough already, but they needed to be freshly picked. I opened up some geodes at Clint, getting 1 more earth crystals, and I found another one quite fast in the mines. I placed the mayo machines outside the coop, but I will move them inside whenever I upgrade to conserve on space. I also organized my chest because I was a little tired of this unorganized mess. Or organized mess in my opinion. I then went over to the community center and donated the last bit of money I needed for the train station to be fixed up. Now, where is all this money actually going to? Day 74, first thing I did was harvest some of my limited crops and donated honey to the center. I went ahead and went to the desert to go into the skull caverns for the very first time. This is my first attempt and I was really not ready. I had a really bad sword, no bombs, and while I only lasted 4 levels before I died and barely got anything. When I woke up I was at the doctor's and they charged me money, pretty much a whole 1,000 gold plus I lost some items. Yeah, that seems fair to me. I gave Abigail a diamond and she said it looked delicious. I literally just froze there. I went to see the guild to see if they had any better swords, and there's this lava katana that I would get for 25k gold. I could also wait until I get a prismatic shard and go get the galaxy sword, but I donated my only one to Gunther because at the time I didn't know how precious these items were. Day 75, I didn't really do much enjoyable things. I cleared out my entire farm for the rest of the day. Every tree except a few were gone to make room for kegs, and some trees for tapping to get more kegs. I also did plant some trees, but they would not be ready since it was winter soon, and trees don't grow in winter as far as I know of. I also leveled up foraging to level 8. I got +1 wild berry harvesting, warp totem farms, and a tent kit. A few of these I never used, but the warp totem would be helpful if I could even craft them. Day 76 was spent at the farm. I was spelting for most of the day and trying to figure out a game plan on how I wanted my farm to look like in the future after looking at what I could build from Robin's shop. Day 77 was something. I went to the mines after doing some stuff around the farm. I left there and went AFK for a little while and passed out. Day 78 is also non-existent, but I went to the Skull Caverns again because I had gotten some iridium ore. Only 11, so that's pretty sad. So that brings us to day 79. I accepted a quest from the billboard to get some bug meat for Willy, which is probably one of the simplest quests I could get, since bug meat is really easy to get. I'd be in the mines for the next 3 days, but my pumpkins were ready by day 81, and I got a good amount of them. I did get a bunch of copper ore from the mines as well. By Friday, I only needed a few more bug meat, so into the mines I went, and it was a really short trip. I cracked open some geodes and got a single item to donate to Gunther, and Willy gave me 3,000 gold after I gave him the bug meat. I was quite close to the 25k mark for the lava sword now. I turned in 2 tickets and got a seed for a tree and some preserve jars. That's also staying in the video because I just can't talk, I guess. After that whole ordeal, it was on to day 83. I was in the mines to get some coal since I was running low. Dust sprites are the easiest way of getting coal in my opinion, and heading back home, it was the Halloween festival. I did the maze and there is supposed to be a prize that you can find somewhere, and I didn't, so I just ended the day and went straight to bed. Day 84, I went to gift Abigail something, and she told me to play Journey of the Prairie King with her. This was quite easy, and I didn't die once. There was only 2 levels, though, for this. Later on, I found her by the grave, and she wanted to become like me, going into the mines and slaying some monsters. So I went through the dialogue, and well, didn't do much else throughout the day since it was the last day of fall, and I already had done most things for fall. Except for one thing, catch that walleye. So I'd have to wait minimum a few more seasons to get the center done. Also, why are we hiding in a bush, Abigail? The first day of winter. It's a chilly morning with white powder all over my farm and everywhere else. This is my first winter, and honestly, winter is quite slow, so I'd work towards the community center and quests more than my farm. I will be decorating my farm in the next 100 days on the other hand. I was going into town when I met this shadowy figure. His name would be Krobus, and I would really like this little fella. The first day was pretty much just figuring out what was going on and what to do for work for the community center. I only had a few options here. Fish for a few fishes I needed, some winter forageables, and some stuff to do with the mines. I went ahead and fished in the little pond in the magic forest. My first fish I caught was the wood skip and the only one I ever needed here. Day 2 of winter. I found one of the forageables for the center. I only needed one more, but I could not find the crocus for a little while. I only really tended to my chickens for the day. I also don't really have any crops to plant whatsoever, and I did not have the greenhouse just yet, so the only money I was getting was from kegs with wine and my farm animals. Day 3. I went to the Stardrop Saloon and Gus actually made an omelet with the eggs I gave him and fed them to the residents of Pelican Town, which is quite cool if you ask me. I then went into the desert to catch myself one fish I needed for a bundle. This would be the sandfish, and it was the last fish I needed for the specialty fish bundle. I also encountered a fish here that is extremely hard to catch. I think it was a scorpion carp. But yeah, I just couldn't catch him whatsoever. I also picked up a few cacti here, and went into the Skull Caverns for the rest of the day to see if my lava katana would do me a greater good. I got to level 12 with only 3 iridium ore, but I guess it's better than nothing. On to the next morning. I found a crocus on my way to the community center. I donated that and completed the entire bundle. This one unlocked a quarry, as well as a small little cave that I could get a golden scythe from. A place where I could get ores as well, or change it into something else entirely if I wanted to, which I did not do just yet. I then donated the sandfish and got 5 Dish of the Sea for completing the bundle. I then would try and fish for 1 sturgeon. These only spawn in the mountain lake in winter or summer, so it was time to get it now or wait. I sadly did not get one today though. Going to bed, I got a cutscene for the bridge to be repaired by the Junimos. Rise and shine on day 89. I went to the quarry and got every ore there, and found a cave in the back here. There were only skulls in this cave that were not really hard to kill but just mostly annoying. At the end of this I found the golden scythe, an upgrade to the regular scythe, which I would pretty much never use. I went to bed quite early since I had nothing else to do. The next day, so day 90, was spent in the Skull Caverns. I got to level 30, which is a personal achievement for me, and with that, only got 4 Iridium ore, which is yet again sad, even though I brought bombs. I would also not go there unless I was more prepared, meaning I would be there for 10 AM as soon as Pam can drive me, and at least some bombs, and a lucky day. Day 91 was spent fishing. I spent a bit of time fishing in the lake by the mines to get the sturgeon. I did end up getting one quite fast, and then it was on to the beach for a quest. Willie needed a squid for some reason, so I fished the entire rest of day to get a single one. And as soon as I was done, he was walking back and I gave it to him, granting me a solid 800 gold for this. Honestly, that's quite impressive for Willie to give me that much gold. Day 92 was fishing for just a little bit to get my money up, and then I went ahead and picked the quest from the wizard. He wanted a weird jelly that only drops from a certain type of slime, prismatic jelly to be specific. I would go into the mines until very late that day, and sadly, I just didn't find one. Day 93 was the same ordeal, going into the mines and trying to find that damn jelly. I would actually like this though, since I was not getting it, I was able to farm a lot of coal and other ores that would benefit me overall. Day 94 was when I stepped up my game. I would spend half my time in the actual mines, and then it hit me. Why don't I just reset one level that has almost guaranteed slimes on it, like a level 5? I would do this for a little bit, and to my surprise it worked quite well. This guy was tanky, but nonetheless I killed it with ease, bringing the prismatic jelly to the wizard on the next day. Day 95 was a trip to the wizard's house after collecting a few of my melons that I had gotten over time by collecting a few winter seeds. The wizard did not give me a copious amount of gold, but I think 5,000 gold is very good. But could he not just spawn in more gold technically since he is a wizard? So does he just have like an infinite money glitch going on in his life or something? I also went and popped open some geodes and got a prismatic shard. I also got a book. Treasures now sell for more. This would include a bunch of things like dino eggs. I also donated my prismatic shard to Gunther. Now I think in the video I mentioned prior that I already had donated one. Well, this is the first time I got one, and it must have gotten confused with something else, so my bad guys. Then it was back to fishing for the rest of the day. Day 12 was spent at the farm cooking up some fish, and well, nothing else really. I would continue cooking all the fish and wanted to sell all of them at once to see how much money I could get. By the end of the day, I got a total of 28,000 gold, which is crazy amounts for me. Day 14 and 15 were spent in the Skull Caverns. I had gotten some slingshot ammo, so getting those ladders could be easier for me. Day 14 I got to level 41 and only getting 12 iridium ore, and day 15, so day 99, I got to level 35 and headed home after seeing this on my screen. Sadly, only getting 8 iridium ore. This is going to complete the 100 days though for this video, since the next video I will be doing from day 100 to day 200. I did really enjoy playing Stardew Valley, and it was a relaxing experience for the most part, and I learned so many things that I can transfer to the next 100 days, so this is more fun and entertaining for you guys. I hope I'll see you when the next video drops for this. Like and subscribe to stay tuned for the next video. Peace out.